Are you sick and tired of your barrels looking washed out and flat? Or just not working the way they should? Have you ever found it strange how the ropes in Skyrim almost look like they're painted on, as opposed to tied on? Or the worst one, how the chains are so thin, they disappear when you look at them flat on. If you are, then sit back, relax, while I help you solve all these problems. Welcome to another Gamer Vids video. Have you ever noticed that the ropes in Skyrim on bridges, buildings, etc., they're painted on, they're a texture. They're not an actual item in the game. The fences, yeah, they're not much better. If you get up close to them or even on the side of them, they look pretty flat, as you're about to see. This is a side-on view of the fence, and as you can see, it's more of a painted on texture as opposed to an actual fence. The barrels aren't much better. They look better than the previous mention, but the rings around it, they're just painted on. They're flat, flush with the barrel, which in real life isn't how barrels are. The chains would have to be the worst thing for me. The textures are blurry and just not very nice, and not to mention that they are so flat that if you looked at it dead on, they disappear. The links actually disappear. Well, this next mod, SMIM, aims to change all that. It fixes that flat chain texture and the blurry image and replaces it with a nice 3D model of the chain with some very nice textures on it as well. The ropes get changed from this flat painted on picture with not much detail, if you ask me, to an actual 3D image of a rope. It turns it into an item as opposed to a painted on texture. And for realism, you just can't beat it. Now, when I say this mod changes all the rope textures, I mean all the rope textures. Even those little ones tucked away in a corner that you'd probably never even see and maybe didn't even know was there. This mod changes that. The mod also takes the flat, rather horrible looking fences and changes it into something a bit more lifelike, vibrant, realistic. As you can see, the stick fences, they're actually stick fences. They're not just these painted on images that sort of feel like an afterthought to the game as opposed to an actual piece of the game. You can actually see the cracks in the grain of wood. Compare these textures to the original, especially the side on, and the difference is abundantly clear. They go from these flat things to actual sticks that look like they've been woven in between the posts. For the barrels, he's changed the textures and the open and closing animations, or rather lack thereof. Now when you interact with a barrel, not only does it open, but it sounds better and it looks 100 times better. I'll show you a side by side so you can see the vanilla and the modded one, and then we'll get straight into the mod. So when you go into it, you're pretty well greeted with all of this. Now it looks a bit overwhelming, but essentially all these that have the same number, so 02, 02, 02, 02, 02, 02, 02, all these to here. You pretty much just pick one of them and install that one. So barrel textures animations, barrel texture animations original movement, barrel textures no animations, barrel textures and rustic barrel textures animations, sorry. So if you were to do this through Vortex or something, you'd be greeted with a nice little installer. But if you want to do it manually, then this is what you're going to be faced with. But yeah, essentially all we're going to do is the core mod. So you have to have that. You have to have these, and all these get dumped into the data folder. This is a bit of a read thing, installation, which even this mod recommends that you do it with Vortex or Nexus Mod Manager or a mod manager of some sort. But other than that, this pretty much covers the usual stuff, update notes, patch notes, etc. So yeah, let's get into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab all these, except for that one. We're going to grab, drag, and drop it all into the data folder. Now what that's going to do is it's going to create the folders that we need inside there. So it'll create all this inside there. So that's the core mod. Then we've got number 1, furniture. Go into there, textures and models, it's all there. So we literally just grab that, drag, drop into data. And then I want the barrel textures animations, or do I want the rustic textures and animations? Let's go with the rustic. Grab, drop, replace. Okay, so we've done that. Food is up next. Again, go into it, grab this, drag and drop. Farmhouse, so we've got 2 options here. 3D rope, distance fade, or 3D rope no fade, best. So that would be best quality. So if you got a decent enough system, then I'd say that one. Yes. If not, then do this one. So it'll fade out in the distance. Okay, number 5, 3D chains. Grab, drag, drop. Go back. And you're just going to continue to do this through the entire thing. So you just pick and choose what you want within the numbers. So if there's just 1 5, I recommend just whacking it in. Just like there's only 1 1, there's only 1 3, there's 1 5, there's 1 10. But these that have multiple, say, 2s, there's a fair few 2s. You can pick one of them, drop it in. There's a few there's 2 4s, so pick one, drop it in. Only one. Don't pick more than one. So I can't put this 4 and that 4 in there. It won't work. You have to pick one. Just like I can't put this 2, that 2, and that 2 in there. It won't work. I have to pick one. I'm going to quickly finish installing this, and I'll catch you when I'm done. There we go. I've finished installing it. So all you missed out on was pretty much just seeing me go through all these one by one. So you saw me do the first few, and yeah, just like picking it out at like 39. Yeah, like Dungeon 3D ropes, and glorious scaffolding. Like you pick one, open it up, grab it, drag, drop it in. Yes, replace. And yeah, you just keep doing that. Now, if you don't have a big beefy system or an average system or whatever, you can pick and choose some of these. So you don't have to have all of them in. So I think it was probably about here that I just gave up and I didn't put the rest of this in, except for the merger patch and the ultra size textures. Those 2 I did put in, but the rest of it, yeah, I just sort of ignored. You don't have to have everything in there. You can pick and choose what you want. As long as you have the core file, you can pretty much pick and choose the rest of what you want, really. And there's no dramas with it. But don't get all frantic when you see all this. Just know that when you see the same number in front of a title, You just pick one out of those numbers. And then you move on to 3. There's only one 3, so put that in there, so on and so forth. If you have any questions about this install, because I did skip over like the whole bit. So if you do have any questions, feel free to let me know in the comments below. If you're still struggling to install this mod, let me know, and I'll do like a dedicated video just for this mod, because it is relatively large. And yeah, that's that for SMIM. Okay guys, that's it for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, don't forget to drop a like, subscribe, you know what to do. Rightio, until the next video, mod the games you want to mod the way that you want to mod them. And don't forget to have fun. Bye!